What's up, guys? This is Sam Clayfield. I'm here just showing you my Dragon Ruler deck. Got one of my mates who asked me to make it the other night, so yeah, just put it together, and it's been running well ever since. Yeah, it's pretty easy to make. I mean, it's pretty generic with the cards, but it's always very good, and it's extremely OP right now. And I don't think until the next ban list comes out, it will still be a very hard deck to stop. Um, So you're going up against a Crystal Beast guy here, and so he doesn't have much in his hand. I mean, 3 Crystal Beacons isn't going to do much for him until he's got some cards in his spell and trap card zone. So, um, yeah, I'll just do the generic thing that all Dragon Balls do and go into Dracossack, and then, yeah, why not have 2, and, yeah, just figured I'd take out both his monsters so he can just create tokens again. At this stage, I have no idea he's running Crystal Beast until that moment, so it's kind of handy because they're face down, their effects don't activate, and then Super Rejuvenation's always good. Um, yeah, the deck I find is quite a good deck. I mean, obviously it's very OP. The one thing that happens is, like in this circumstance, I've already got 2 Dracosacks out, and so there's a lot of firepower in this deck, but not enough XYZs really to back it up, because you don't really want to just be bringing out Big Eyes for the sake of bringing out a Big Eye. And I mean, I could roll Abyssgaios, but it's just really situational in the deck, so I generally don't run it. I did run the Return from the Different Dimension, as you saw, but most of the time I won't be running it. Normally I just run an extra Max C because I find this gives me better draw power, and Return from the Different Dimension is really situational, especially since normally I have like a Dracossack on the field, or I've just got a full field anyway. So yeah, I found that it's not as handy, so I don't generally run it anymore. Anyway, so this guy's done pretty well for himself. He's got, you know, a lot of XYZs out, which I guess is one of the cool things about Crystal Beast, especially with Carbuncle's effect. So yeah, I probably misplay by trying to take Tempo, but I figure if I take either of the other monsters, like especially Chidori, he's just going to detach from Chidori anyway. It's just a dead weight. And I didn't want to take Utopia because I figured then I've really got nothing to get over Tempo, so I figured I might as well just, play it safe. And so I had to get rid of Chidori because I knew it was a threat, but in hindsight, I probably should have chosen Utopia and then just destroyed Chidori by battle. So yeah, that was a bit of a mistake, but he draws into Max C, which isn't going to help him at all. Gets rid of my monster, not that big a deal, because next turn I'll just get rid of his Utopia with Dracossack. He'll play as Max C, but I'm really only going to special summon probably a few monsters. Then I've got 7-star swords, we all know how that works, and then yeah, I mean, at this stage, he's got nothing going for him. Even if he has summon him up with a monster, next turn, I'll just bring out a second Dracossack and destroy whatever it is, because he's only got 100 left. So there's nothing he can really do to stop it. So he just goes summon a monk into MRL, which I found a bit interesting, but I think he was just going to try and pull maybe Dark Hole. But I mean, I would have been able to bring out something, but he drew Lance, so I mean, back to him. So this is probably my favourite duel that I've done with these, and this is actually against a friend who told me to make it, King-Sani, and this is actually where I brought out 3 Dracosacks on my first turn, so I was pretty fortunate. Just had a really good hand, and it just happens so there's already 3 of them out there, so he goes Valor because that's the only thing he can play. I mean, you got 2 Risers and a Mobius, and then just a pretty ordinary enemy control. I don't know why he runs that in the Frog Monarch deck, but whatever floats his boat, I suppose. So yeah, I attribute those 2, and then bang, Tidal, and there you go. 3 Dracosacks, and then just as an added bonus, a Super Reju, which then I get another one. And I thought, oh, Jesus, must be a lucky day. And then I've just got a whole hand to recharge and bring out more monsters if I need to. All he's got is enemy control, and I'm just thinking, yep, it's over already, because, I mean, even, no matter what that face down was, it was like, a Mirror Force or a Torrential would have had it covered. And he knows he's lost now, because he's got 4 monsters in his hand, all requiring tributes that he can't bring out. So I just proceeded to have a bit of fun because I know that I basically got him here, so I just go into Lucky Straight. It's a fun card to use. I mean, I normally don't use it. It's just that, as I was saying, not many level 7s out, like rank 7s that are that great. So yeah, I just decided to bring him out for fun and then just attack and win. Yeah, so I mean that went pretty well. One last thing I do want to show you guys though, with this one is the Wyvern OTK, which is actually done with Blue-Eyed Maiden and Emergency Teleport. I did this actually against the Dragon Ruler. I was running my Blue Eyes deck, and basically you summon Maiden and then use Teleport to get Rise Belt, and his effect basically gets you, or it targets Maiden, which will give you that Blue Eyes, as you know, and then Maiden goes up to level 4, which means that you can sync them together for Ancient Sacred Wyvern. I just went with lands because I thought I could maybe go double Maiden effect, but yeah, the guy knows that I'm just going to directly attack with both. So yeah, this is the first duel I had with the Jungles against this guy who was running his Frog Monarch deck. So, I mean, I watched a lot of duels of people using this deck, and I dueled a lot of guys who had the deck, and I just thought, oh, you know what, how hard can it be to make it? And it turned out that it really wasn't hard at all, and I found it to actually be quite easy. And I mean, on my first turn, double Dracossack again with, you know, token protection. So, you know, a Monster Reborn Redox, because I know even if Redox gets destroyed, he's in my grave and I can just use him. Or if he is bouncing my hand, I've got to target them for the 1,000-star sword or whatever it's called, I forget. And yeah, I mean, he has Swap Frog, which, God, it's annoying just to watch because it takes forever. But then he brings out Light and Darkness Dragon, attacks Major Dracossack, God knows why, because Dracossack can't be destroyed. And then it turns out with Redox on the field, I'm able to actually chain onto Lad, which means that now I can just easily destroy Lad by battle. But he does get Mobius back, but then again, I just get rid of it in my main phase to my other Dracossack, which didn't attack. And then he's got Obelisk and Jinzo in his hand, maybe a Treeborn Frog to go to, but nothing that can really protect him. Even with the Dark Hole, he's got nothing to go with. And to finish, just want to have a look at duel. It was a tag duel that I had, and I had probably the worst partner. So both the guys we're versing have Karakuri, which is it's a very good deck. I'm not going to lie, but God, it can be annoying sometimes. So yeah, he starts off with a bang. He goes in Etruria Beast and Etruria Barkion. So basically, spells and traps shut down, and then my teammate draws into full spells and traps, which is just not going to help him. And he's running macro, which is horrible for me. And I see them when he set them. I'm just like, no, God no. And I was kind of just glad. I didn't like it that he had 2 Cosmoses, because I know that if that Cosmos stays in the field on my next turn, I've got nothing to play. But, you know, rolls out a Heavy Storm, just like, yes, you know, maybe there's a chance here, but no, he is able to Dark Bribe. But then, as it happened, he brings out Scrap Dragon, and then there goes Cosmos, which is great. And I was a bit worried by what he'd set face down initially, but they're 2 Mirror Forces, so it isn't really too much of a threat. But at that stage, I don't know if it's a Solemn Warning or, you know, a Torrential. I mean, he wouldn't play Torrential, obviously, with the field he's got. But since I don't know, I'm going to try and be cautious. So I just go with hand summonings first, because I figure the best thing I can do. And I figure the main thing I've got to do is try and get away from that trap threat. So I take his Barkion with Big Eye. That way I know that now I can stop his traps, and also I can activate my Elemental Dragon's effects from the grave with Barkion, which is like an added bonus if I need to. Go into a second Big Eye and take his Scrap Dragon, and then I set my Sark, because I don't need to use my Sark anyway. He'd negate it with Naturia Beast. And then I just proceed to destroy his Naturia Beast, and then I've got, you know, a Scrap Dragon and his Barkion. None of his traps will work, and the guy has Cyber Command that draws into an MST, so he's got nothing. So yeah, I mean, that's this is the deck itself. It's pretty good. So yeah, Sam Clayfield, otherwise known as Claydragon29 on Devpro. So yeah, see you guys next time.